and welcome to Conversations with Bert, where I bring the art of conversation, the experience of colloquy, the adventure of tete-a-tete to you from my round table of talk.
And now, Conversations with Bert.
Today, joining me is actor, comedian, filmmaker, esteemed Leo, haiku lover, pancake visionary, and all-around groovy guy, Andy Samberg.
Wow. Thank you, Bert. That's quite some intro, but thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
And I am happy to have you here, Andy.
Well, and I am happy that you are happy that I am happy to be here.
Must we continue with this snappy comedy banter?
No.
Good. Let's just dive into the conversation, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Andy Samberg, please tell me a little bit about yourself. Family? Brothers? Sisters? Parents?
I have a family.
Yes.
2 parents. Contrary to popular belief.
And pets? Any pets?
When I grew up, I had a pet turtle.
A turtle? Well, what was his name?
His name was Squirt.
Really?
Yeah.
That is fascinating.
The reason he was named that was because the first time I picked him up, he relieved himself on me.
Okay, as a follow-up, if you could be any kind of fabric, what would it be and why?
I would say either velour or rayon.
Why?
Well, velour, both soft, and I feel like that's, a good attribute in a fabric. I've also
is.
worn both a lot. I wore a lot of rayon in junior high school. A lot
Rayon.
of paisley print rayon, yeah. It's kind of like imitation silk,
Yeah.
but more affordable. So that should be
fabrics
good-
that
be good
breathe
for
are
you.
highly overrated.
Agreed. I say
Yeah.
just sweat it out.
Yeah. And how does the real Andy Samberg unwind and relax?
I like to just pour a cup of tea and, open up a big book and just read the book.
You like to read?
I love reading, yeah.
I love to read.
Is that like your thing?
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
the last book you read?
Oh, one of those depressed Russian novelists. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really sure I like his writing style though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some work to do. He's just a kid. It's sort of weird to be published that young, but
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
How does the imaginary Andy Samberg unwind and relax?
He likes to just go flying. Just jetpack, flying through the sky, into space.
Jetpack. You use a jetpack.
Well, the imaginary me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's imaginary, Andy, you don't really need the jetpack. No, you could just use a cape.
That's a really good point. I'm kind of more into electronics. But, once you get into space, you could ditch the jetpack because there's no gravity and just sort of float around. And if you wanted a cape then, it's optional, but it probably wouldn't look good because it would float up all around you, get tangled in your hair.
Well, maybe your hair.
We kind of have similar hairstyles.
Yeah? I don't know. If you could wear a sock from any time period, what sock would that be?
I'm going to say modern day sock.
Modern day.
Yeah, why fight progress? You know what I
Well,
mean?
because socks, there's a whole treasure trove of socks throughout history.
Okay, well, like what
To
century?
open up that chest,
How far back do you want to go with the sock, though? I mean, it's probably something that would be very constrictive.
if I could wear any, it would be the 5th century puttees.
How do you spell that?
Yes. Oh, P-U-T.
Yeah.
T, that's where a lot of people go wrong.
Yeah.
And then E-E-S.
Poutines.
Yeah. Very, very popular in Europe
Got it.
in the 5th century, yeah.
Okay.
And very comfortable, too. Yeah.
Okay.
Andy, you know what time it is?
Hammer time?
No! It's milk break time! nothing more delicious or nutritious than a carton of milk.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, yeah,
And this was warm too, which I appreciate.
absolutely.